But wait, there's more. The video.
Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroga. I'll call him.
Doctor, I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to kick your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Falsehood, important news are giving you weakness.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework planet. From now on, it's gonna be under one roof. You're gonna run it like a business. That means you're gonna make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, June 10th, 2022. Sorry I got a late start, and sorry it's going to be an early end because I have physical therapy later. I am having some audio issues. Apparently you can hear me, which is wonderful, but I can't hear me, which is borderline annoying, but not the end of the world. I guess I'll just worry about that later. 47 Yorktown, first in the chat. Hashtag Dear Bop. Don't worry, 47 Yorktown. We will start with the Dear Bops pretty much because there's quite a few of them. And I don't want to have to feel like I'm charging people to jump to Dear Bops. Richie Poole says Qapla, Richie. 47 young Yorktown says hello, young sir. Thank you, 47. York. Dan Ben says hi. John Araki says 3 Vicks. And Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. John Araki of the $1 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. You should have seen the super chat. Though there wouldn't have been an audio, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you heard it too. It wasn't kissing Dax. That's all I know. John Meyer says, hail bird in the chat. Qapla, John Meyer. And 47 Yorktown was the first person to tell me the audio sounds okay. And Mike Richards also says it sounds okay. Thank you. John Araki says, Bird of Prey is temporal. He identifies as on time. Regardless, he's still better than Amtrak. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Londell says Qapla. Qapla, Miss Londell. Big thumbs up from John Araki. John Meyer says, I will probably drop out quickly because virtually everything in life is spoilers when you have no streaming services. Well, don't worry, John. There's actually there's no spoilers this week. I don't have to use any spoilers this week in my examples of the shows. Okay, no spoilers indeed. In fact, let's just do that. Absolutely, we'll get that taken out of the way very first. Biggest miss of the week was Orville. I was hoping for so much more from Orville, and I got a generic Orville episode, which, don't get me wrong, generic Orville episodes is still generally better than Strange New Worlds. But I'll be honest, I thought it was a bit boring. I thought it was a bit boring for the second week. And I would say it's probably the worst second episode the Orville's ever had.
Could take weeks, sir.
Which is big. This season has been under so much demand. This season has been being waited on, being edited for years. 3 years we waited for this. And if this had been, 6 months after the last Orville episode aired, and it's the third season, then it would have been perfectly fine. I wouldn't have said anything about it. I'd be like, okay, fine, no big deal. It's just the way television is. But this hasn't been 6 months. This has been 3 years. 3 years since the last episode of the Orville. And, except for the first episode. And this was no. There is no way you bring this back after 3 years. You have a 3-year hiatus, you redo every episode. If you have to rewrite it, then you rewrite it. You redo them into episodes nobody could ever imagine being without. Okay? You're going from TV episodes to movies. People are going to cry or laugh at the end of each one of these Orvilles. Everybody should have a duty. This one is to cry. This one is to laugh. This one is to smile. This one is to, reevaluate your entire life. But that's the thing you got to do. That's the thing you have to have for when you have a TV show that doesn't come back on for 3 years. For 3 years. Instead, we get a fairly boring episode where they tried to scare us a lot. Basically, it was their Halloween episode all over again. And I tell you, you guys know me, Halloween episodes are the one episodes I do not do, I don't care for, and I generally wouldn't even have watched. Okay, I generally wouldn't even have watched, but 3 years, I watched this one, and I had no idea what it was going to be about. John Meyer, don't. So John, that's basically all I have to say is that I found the Orville boring. I found Strange New Worlds, again, abysmal as to how it wants to destroy canon, and it found strange new ways of destroying canon again. Mostly, and this is not a spoiler, but this is canon that it destroys, was the canon of Earth being a perfect utopia. And why did Pike even let this woman continue talking? And he said he should have stopped her and said, "You're right, it is a perfect utopia on Earth. We're not saying the entire galaxy is that yet, but the entire Earth Yes, that is how it is. And it would be too much to ask one child to suffer. It would be too much to ask one family to share this pain, because that's not something we have to do anymore. That's the whole point. If this future wasn't in our grasp, then there would be no point to working this hard, to living this way. That's the entire point behind why human beings have gone out into the stars and become the policemen for the galaxy. Anyway, yeah, Mr. Londell, I do think it was a generic Orville episode. I didn't think this was a particularly fancy Orville episode. And honestly, it's like with Identity Part 2, I wasn't a fan of Identity Part 2. They solved all their problems really quickly, really easily. I go, well, that was boring. After making all this, the entire setup for taking a month to get to Kalon, or whatever their planet is, and then they make it home in like 6 hours. It made no sense then. It still makes no sense now. But whatever. Jedi Bill says, Qapla, bird of prey. And hail Karoga, brother warrior. Hail to you, Jedi Bill. Hail to you. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello in Qapla. Hail Karoga. Absolutely. Yvette says, good evening, bird and everyone. Good evening, Yvette. Jedi Bill says hello to Miss Londell. John Araki. Is that a second? Yes, a $2 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. Dan Ben says, Bird of Prey, are there any other shows that had a long hiatus? I'm sure there were, Dan, but I'd be hard pressed to think of one that had such a long hiatus between their second and third seasons. I mean, like, I know Futurama had like 4 or 5 seasons off before they got picked up again. I know Family Guy had a few seasons off before they got picked up again by Fox, who had them in the first place. So yeah, there are shows that have 2, 3, 4 plus year-long hiatuses. It's not unheard of, but it's not good for the show. And especially now that there's there's really no excuse going forward as we leave, especially now, as we leave the realm of TV and go to TV plus all these other networks. So we have more networks than we have TV. I would imagine if you are a TV writer, an entertainment writer, right now is the best you will ever have. You have original TV networks that would buy your story, or you have the all these streaming channels that would buy your story. John Meyer says 3 years now. Exactly how big are the doctor's kids on the Orville? Yeah, I think I see some Walking Dead call growth syndrome going on. Yeah, Marcus and Ty, you can tell that some of this was recorded recently, some of this was recorded 3 years ago, and some of it was probably recorded in the last couple of weeks just to make some last minute changes. You know, we don't know. We don't know, but we can assume. I can assume. Was that your phone, Mama Frey? Had to be. Yeah, it's not mine. Words and pictures says Qapla, bird of prey. Good to hear you. Good to be here. Glad that you're here. Words and pictures. Miss Lindell says, I think the episode was pretty good. Much better than Strange New Trek or Discovery or Picard. Oh, it was definitely better than Strange New Worlds or Picard or Discovery. But it was, for me, it was a generic Orville episode. Orville hasn't had any real bad episodes. They've had episodes I personally dislike, but I know why I disliked them. But they weren't bad episodes. They were just ones that weren't for me. And this particular episode wasn't a bad episode. Maybe it just wasn't for me. Dan Ben, I like Doctor Who, and there's some episodes I wish I never finished. I wish I never watched. That made me fall asleep in the blink of an eye. For most people, so boring. I wish I never watched. Well, I don't know that I wish I never watched anything, but I can understand. Gorilla Random Thoughts says you're late. Lowell, as I'm here, Gorilla. I'm here. Carlo Albanese says hi. I hope everyone is as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. Hope you are as well as can be. John Meyer says Blink is a masterpiece. Carlo says hail, Karoga. And not Ryan Johnson says Jedi Bill, hail. Mako, Qapla Mako. Mako says, where's Mako? Where's Mako? What happened? How did I lose Mako? Anyway, the Random Menace is Mike Richards. Greetings to the past. Not Ryan Johnson says Bird of Prey has been on the low-key rant for so long he's missing all the super chats coming through. The Random Menace with a €2 super chat says, why so bitter? I am not on your lawn, bird. John Araki with a $1 super chat. Not Ryan Johnson with a $10 super chat. TBIF. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, John Araki for his first super chat. I apologize. I apologize. Thank you for pointing those out to me. Wow. The Random Menace is not Ryan Johnson. I think Bird is sleep ranting. No, I'm awake. I'm awake. Mike Richards says, greetings to Captain Fandom Nerd. Dan Ben's in the house again. Not Ryan Johnson, still here. He says, that sounds about right. The Random Menace. Captain Fandom Nerd says, Mike Richards, greetings. John Araki says, hashtag Steelbird's garbage. No, please, no. Gorilla's Random Thoughts is this episode. Oh, I don't want to put in any potential spoilers. This episode was the Voyager episode mixed with every bad horror story they mixed in. Carlo says, they were going hard at the moment. All this hard work pays off in the end. And Dan Ben says, Vertebrae, do you like the new Orville shuttle? I don't dislike them. I don't dislike them at all. I don't. The fighter looks good too, but I don't know if I want them on my ship. Dan Ben says, I like the shuttles. John Meyer says, bye all, take care, John. And Dave G Sound says, Hif, hi, still working on my deck. And John Araki puts in a salt shot there. A salter. I can, be careful. You don't want to get any of that salt on Anti-Tracker's dog. I hear they're very, very not resistant. They're very, I don't think dogs need it. Need their toes. Don't need their, what's it called? Anyway, whatever. They don't need their feet salted. It would probably, no, please don't anybody try to salt a bear's foot. It's just, you're going to have a lot of problems if you do that. Okay, so let's Gorilla, unfortunately, Gorilla, I have physical therapy tonight. So I will be busy. The question is, I don't know exactly when it's going to start, but I'll be busy 7:30 my time in all likelihood. However, if I'm not, I will try to stop by. Sorry. Does Bird subscribe to the theory Enterprise is a new timeline? I like the theory that Enterprise is a new timeline because things just don't make a lot of sense otherwise. I like the theory. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope that helps. Okay. So well, let's do a commercial and I'll be right back.
What's in this little blue egg that keeps Barbara Eden looking slim and trim?
Ooh, there's only one answer to that. It's Legs Control Top Pantyhose. See, Legs slims and trims but doesn't bind, so you get comfort and control.
Stretching, bending, standing, sitting. There's one pantyhose that's always fitting. It's a great pair of legs. On the groove of it. One Diet Coke for the smooth. Diet Coke just for the satisfaction, just for the eye, the look and the style of it. Diet Coke for the smile of it. 1 calorie just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
It's a corner of America with cozy harbor towns. It's salty air, wicker chairs, and a surf that pounds.
The spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. The spirit of the red, white, and blue. The spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. The spirit that we want to share with you.
For your free Massachusetts vacation kit, call 1-800-624-MASS.
The Computer Factory wants you to get the competitive edge with the Apple rebate sale. Purchase a qualifying Apple system now and get cash back. Buy the Apple II GS for only $549 after Apple rebate, or the Apple IIc for only $549 after rebate, or the powerful Macintosh Plus for only $1,449 after Apple rebate. Hurry in to your nearest Computer Factory store for their lowest prices of the year on Apple. Plenty of stock on hand at all Computer Factory locations.
I've been on my feet 6 hours. You know how I feel? I feel like dancing.
Sheer energy.
It makes me feel like dancing.
Sheer energy.
It makes my legs feel that good. Sheer Energy pantyhose look terrific. And they stimulate, refresh, and massage my legs. So I really feel like dancing.
Try Sheer Energy, because nothing beats a great pair of legs.
If doing things different is your style,
And we're back. I have to fix this. Of course, we need to get the Opera browser window back. Source Opera. There we go. Okay. Okay. So we're here for Dear Bob's. What do we got? And I managed to fix the audio too. I don't know why it wasn't working. It is now. I don't know that we're going to get through all the Dear Bobs, unfortunately. So at most, we're going to get through whatever's here now, 1636. Okay, that's at most. I will stop that. So Dear Bob, I really like when you play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Suggestion, could you select Star Wars questions? I hate when you play Risk. It's so boring. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. I will remember to do that. I will remember to click on Star Wars questions. I hope somebody will be in the audience who can answer Star Wars questions. Dan Ben says these adverts are trying to tell us that Bird of Prey wears female clothing and accessories. Richie Poole says if Enterprise is a different timeline, it's because of First Contact, then so is Voyager. Well, it doesn't have to be. There's really nothing from Voyager that forces us to believe First Contact. You know, I mean, we know that, okay, Janeway went on a mission and she got them home, but we don't know exactly when or what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, going back to the beginning of the Dear Bobs now. DearBirdO'Prey5.com is the home of all things Bird of Prey 5, BOP5 for short, on the internet. Copyright 2019, Bird of Prey 5, Joe's Ultimate Off Topic, LLC. Yes, this is true. Here are the details. DearBirdO'Prey5.com is the home of all things Bird of Prey for short on the internet. Dear Bob is how I give back to the community by helping people with their problems. Hey, this is a copy and paste. This is a copy and paste of what's already out there. Dear Bob, except for Prodigy, do you agree that New Track is suitable for children viewing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You would never, never, never let a kid watch Discovery, Picard, or Lower Decks. Or for this matter, so far, Strange New Worlds, maybe. Strange New Worlds is a maybe, but I wouldn't I personally wouldn't let them watch it now until I've seen every episode, which is ridiculous because in old Trek, you know, you didn't have to watch every episode to know it was okay to let kids watch it. Now you say, well, old Trek aired on TV, and yes, that's true. That's true. But just because you can, just because you can have bad language in your show doesn't mean you have to have bad language in your show. That's what people don't get. Just because they're allowed to do something doesn't mean they should do something. I think I'm hearing things. I don't know. Or did I? Yeah. Okay. Dear Bob, if you could have an action figure of any Star Wars character that is not considered a main film character, who would it be? I have no idea. I don't care about Star Wars enough to know who would be considered main film character and who wouldn't. I mean, if it's not a main film character, I don't know who they are. I know who the Mandalorian is, I guess. So I guess the Mandalorian. Dear Bob, quiz time. What Star Trek movie is this from? Scott. Oi. And if my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wagon. Kirk. Toot toot, Mr. Scott. Young minds, fresh ideas. Be tolerant. I believe it's The Search for Spock. Pop quiz. Who said this in Star Trek First Contact? Look, he wouldn't even talk to me unless I had a drink with him. That would be what's her face? Troy. It would be Counselor Troy talking about Zephyrin Cochrane. He wouldn't even talk to me unless I had a drink with him. And then it took 3 shots of something called tequila just to find out he was the one we're looking for. And I spent the last 20 minutes trying to keep his hands off me. I don't have the time. We don't have the time to keep talking about time. Dear Bob, quiz time. Who said this in Star Trek? Make it so. Captain Picard. Dear Bob, would you rather have sex with Keira Knightley or Natalie Portman or both? I don't have any idea who these people are. I have no face to go with either name. So Keira Knightley, Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, there's something about that body type that I do not like. But who's to say? Let's see. This looks like the same person. I would respectfully request I put my letters back in the bag and I reshake the bag. Like, is this like Scrabble, where you can put all your letters back and get a different thing of letters? I mean, not that I should be picky, and I don't mean to be picky, but yeah, I don't. I'd ask for a redo. because it seems like there's got to be somebody I would like much more than either of these two women. Dr. Alex is yay bop time. Qapla, Qapla. Dr. Alex. Oh, you got some more. I read that. I read that. Okay. So, yeah. What do we got? Dear Bob, what is your opinion on white chocolate and dark chocolate? I love dark chocolate. I do not like white chocolate. White chocolate shouldn't even be called chocolate. Sometimes dark chocolate can make me ill if I eat it on its own. White chocolate is nice on its own, but I get offered those other products like cakes, drinks, and stuff, and I'm not sure if I want to consume those. Okay, I don't know what other stuff is made of white chocolate, but chocolate, I don't like it in any form, white chocolate. I do like dark chocolate in its many forms. Dear Bob, if you could go through the Stargate to anywhere, where would you like to go? I would like to go to wherever they have the cure that would make me like I was, I don't know, 15 to 20 years ago. Yeah, 20 years. Let's just make it an even 20. If they have some way that they could get me back to being 20 years healthier than I am now, but with all the keeping intact the memories I still have, I would do that. Otherwise, I guess I would go back in time 20 years to prepare my future self in time to make the changes I would need to change, not just for me, but for Dad O'Prey and the rest of the family. And I would tell Sis O'Prey the info she needed so that she could still have Charlie. And yeah, we'll call it a win. Dear Bob, what's your opinion on these environment planets in Star Wars? It's stupid. It's not just Star Wars. Star Trek has them too, like Vulcan being an all-desert planet. I mean, it's stupid. You don't have one planet that's an entire desert. You don't have a Breen that's all frozen. You don't have one planet that's all frozen or all desert. That's just because then where it's really cold, it's super cold, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Dear Bob, do you like the taste of bottled water? If I find the taste of water unpleasing, I don't really like those flavored water drinks. Okay, I don't like flavored water drinks, but I do like bottled water. And I have a friend who put as much time into people picking wine, maybe more time into people picking the bottled water that other people put into picking wine. Okay. Dear Bob, if I remember correctly, you may have an interest in trains. Could you explain again if you are interested in trains, if you have one? I have a marginal interest in trains. I don't have any, I don't have any toy trains. I don't have any trains, as toys or models or anything. Yeah, when I was a kid, I had a couple of model trains. I had the Lego trains. I had the Lego monorail. That type of stuff I thought was cool. But it wasn't nothing super fancy. My grandfather had a pretty fancy model train set for a while, but then he got rid of it, and I assume he sold it or something because it was not to be found in the house after he had died. So I don't know whatever happened to it. I would, if I had the physical ability and the time and the money, I would certainly find it fascinating to run a train set around. Dear Bob, you can see Nurse Chapel's underwear when she collapses in Spock's brain. I'm in Spock's brain. Okay, that's her underwear. Well, that's too bad. It's too bad for her, I guess. Dear Bob, favorite Star Wars films? Two. Episode 5, 4, and 6 in that order. Empire, the original Star Wars, and last but not least, Return of the Jedi. Dear Bob, favorite Star Trek film? Oh, we've gone over this many a times. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, Star Trek 6, and 2 are an even. So 4 is on top, 2 and 6 are tied for second place. And then Star Trek 3, 5, and 1. Dear Bob, what is Mama Pray's favorite music?
Music?
Yeah.
Or musical?
No, not musical. What's your favorite music?
Music. It's just,
Oldies, 50s, 60s. 50s and 60s oldies. Country music also. Mama Pray. Dear Bob, my baby boy keeps constantly humming for long periods. Should I be concerned? No. Assuming he's out of the womb, I don't think it's a problem. Dear Bob, do people still take flowers on a first date? What flowers should I take? If not, what should I take? Or people not give gifts anymore? Yeah, you should take some flowers. Yes, you should show up with flowers. I think, yes, you should. What type of flowers? Nothing super fancy, just whatever, colorful, something colorful. It says you want to say, these remind me of you. But assuming you've met this person before, if it's a blind date, then you want to take flowers that say, these remind me of being blind. And you say, she says, oh, is that why they look so ugly? I'm like, yes, that's why. Dear Bob, do people still give chocolates as a gift when dating someone? Yes, I suppose. I've given chocolates as a gift while dating people. Dear Bob, can you recommend 3 episodes of The Office to watch? The first 3? I mean, the problem here is that you need to watch them in order for them to make sense. It's a serialized show. If I just tell you to watch these 3 particular episodes, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. And I'll be honest, yes, I know it's a pain in the ass to ask you to watch, 9 seasons of a show. So I get it. This isn't something you do haphazardly. That said, I really think most people would enjoy it. So if you don't get into it by the second season, then okay, then don't keep going. If you haven't fallen in love with The Office by the second season, stop. Some people say the third season gets better. I honestly don't think it does. I think if you haven't found your enjoyment by the second season, then you should stop. But you do have to give it more than 1 season. I had to give it 2 seasons. Dear Bob, what type of skating do you recommend as a good time? No type of skating. There is no type of skating, neither rollerblades, neither rollerblades or roller skates nor ice skating particularly appear to be a good time to me. So I would say no skating. If you had to skate, then ice skating, I suppose. Dear Bob, what are the worst unrealistic TV shows you have watched set in New York? Well, Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods is a totally unrealistic TV show set in New York. It's basically just competent cops set in a fictional city where things actually work and cops do things for the betterment of the city and not for their own personal betterment. That doesn't exist. Pretty much any show like that's, I think House was a show about a doctor who was actually cared about patients instead of making money. House doesn't exist. Let's see, what other show is set in New York? The Jeffersons, moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Nobody moves on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky. There's no deluxe apartment in the sky for anybody. Just don't think you're going to find one. God damn it. Dear Bob, do you think the best way to help the homeless people of New York is to put them on a bus and ship them away? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And not because it's cold. It's because it's cheap. You can send them to California where it's so much cheaper to be homeless. And California actually gives them shit. We don't give them. The only thing we give them is a bus pass out of New York. Dear Bob, do you recommend using toothpicks, floss, and mouthwash? Yes, not at the same time, but yes, I do. I do, just not at the same time. Dear Bob, funniest episode of Family Guy. Thank you for your answer. I'll go watch it now. Oh, the funniest episode of Family Guy. I don't remember it. I'm sure whatever it is, I've long since forgotten. Technically, the crossover episode where Family Guy meets The Simpsons was a Family Guy episode. So being it's the only episode I can think of offhand, I would say that. Also, just this past weekend, or whatever it was, I watched an episode of Family Guy from this most recent season where they were poking fun at my alma mater, my Hofstra University. And for some reason, I don't know why, but it's clear somebody from Hofstra had to screw up Seth MacFarlane in some way, some personal way that Seth MacFarlane decided he was going to get back at Hofstra University. That was a pretty funny episode where he makes fun of Hofstra twice in that one episode of Family Guy. No, I don't know who, I don't know why, but I can assume whoever didn't get him his cookies, or his room was dirty and wherever he was staying, or the person lost his luggage, whatever happened, somebody pissed in his cereal, and now he's angry at all Hofstra graduates. So that's fine. That's fine. Dear Bob, what is the scariest movie you've ever watched? This will help me stay away from it. Tremors, probably. Tremors is like the only, Scream. The Scream 1, 2, and 3. I think those were probably it. Those I did watch with friends, and that was it. No more horror movies. And Jill is in the house. Hello. Dear Bob, by your command. Thank you. Dear Bob, what is the worst moment for you in Disney Star Wars? Seeing Luke milk that monster for its breast milk, its green tinged breast milk. That was pretty much the end. Dear Bob, do you care about DC and watch any of their movies? I liked the first Wonder Woman, and I like Aquaman. So yeah, I do in some respects care about them. I watched them best I can. So, unfortunately, guys, I've got to go. I don't have any way of getting through the rest of these Dear Bops before I have to leave in a minute. So we're going to call it an ending here. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer. I will try to come back on again tomorrow for Saturday, and we can pick up where we left off with Dear Bops, perhaps, and we'll see. We'll see where we go. So thank you all. It's Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is Aquaman, who I, of course, knew him the entire time as that guy from Stargate. That was how I knew him. Farewell, Columbus, Ohio. Qapla all, and Bird out. But wait, there is more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out